I'm going to do 20 useful things to do with Exiles. So, how I created this list was, I have a lot of conversations with people where they've asked questions or they've seen a video or they want to know how to do something, and I wanted to do 20 or 25-ish useful things to do with Exiles. How I created this list is entirely at random, basically. So based on those conversations that I've had with people, I thought, that could be quite good for this class. So it literally was just a random list on my phone. So some of it is just isolated little things that are useful. Some of it is themes, where we've talked about plays linking onto plays, linking onto plays. So that's basically the backbone of this lesson. It's just stuff that's cropped up in the last few months that I thought would be quite useful. The most important thing to remember is these are just little snippets. And they're snippets of how I like to do Exiles, and that's a really important point, because Fiore's giving us a framework, isn't he? So when you've done lots of Exiles, lots of dagger, etc., you'll basically have your own little interpretation of how to do things. You'll have your own preferences. So these are just little snippets into things that I like to do. And obviously in time, or right now, you'll have your own little preferences. We have to remember though that it's a full system. So some of this stuff will be Exiles, but actually it'll be a dagger play, or a sword play as well. Or I might be taking it from those sections and putting it back into Exiles, because it is just one system. What I do is show you that Fiore's upright stuff works really good on the ground. Most of my injuries have come from this. It's pretty obvious what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to pop his elbow. If my arm is in front of him, which is where he should have positioned himself to throw me, bosh. Yeah? If you're interested in maximum damage, what you should generally try and do when you're sending that knee in is stand up. Oh, any of the plays that you know, yeah? Swap, shoulder block, this leg's forward. I'll practice doing a side throw. So the first one is really easy, we're just literally going to get straight into it. This is an isolated one. I was talking about this one in January. Let's have an iron. I was talking about this one in January, about common things an upright wrestler would have known in the period. And this is something that you'll find in lots of different upright systems from all over the world. I used this phrase yesterday, but we can be reasonably sure it formed a good foundational aspect of upright wrestling. So most of us who are used to posture frontale will be either starting to be or very used to grappling, upright grappling. What we're going to do is a very common wrestling-based principle, which is we're going to facilitate things with our shoulder. So in modern martial arts, we call this a shoulder bump. Okay? Ivan's bigger than me, which is why I grabbed hold of him. But it's often very useful to use this as a little softener, okay, to get things happening. So we're all used to, for example, our level 1 throw, where we drop the weight back and we give them a turn. Well, if you're that size or that size, someone like me is going to struggle with that. So, we're going to facilitate things with the shoulder into the face and then give it a turn. And that's how I want you to practice. But I want you to practice it from both sides. So Ivan's going to come into grab, I'm going to close in posture frontale, and I'm going to get used to throwing the shoulder forward. Boom, or from this side, boom. Yeah? And then if you know that throw, we're not going to throw yet because we don't have the mats down just yet, but give it a turn. Bop, and see where it takes you. Give it a little shoulder bump. And just see where it takes you. You don't have to go that way. You can turn it into any of the throws that you know, or any of the plays that you know. Yeah, swap, shoulder block, this leg's forward. I'll practice doing a side throw. So we're just going to go at that for a couple of minutes, and then this is all going to build up like I always do. It's going to get a bit more technical, but that's just a nice, easy thing to start with. Okay. Next, it could be once, it could be twice. Doesn't really matter how they grab you. I'm just softening things up, pop, pop, and then we've got options. Yeah, it's just softening them up. There's a very good illustration that I've seen, it's about 700 years old, is from what is now Germany, of a very approximate image of that kind of thing happening from two dudes grappling an arm. So, I think it's quite a common thing. Next one, okay, again, this was from another conversation. This was a conversation about ways to apply the knee collapse from sword in Exiles. So a friend of mine, me and a friend were discussing lots of options around using this kind of thing in Exiles. And one of the examples I gave was, it's quite common for people to come low and grab you low. So you're going to grab double low like this. Yeah? Again, if we're thinking modern terms, this is quite a lot of MMA approach, isn't it? They're going to grab you low, they're going to throw you over, they're going to shoot, whatever. So we were discussing pushing the head down and basically just searching for a knee to kick. Yeah? Especially if they come in like this. Yeah? Which is very common. So the idea is going to shoot in, I'm going to push the head down, keep my wide base, okay? I can't see his legs, but I kind of know that something's there. So the idea is I'm going to hold him there, I'm going to search for a knee. This is straight out of the sword section, isn't it? This is from our largo. That's the exercise we're going to do now. Shoot low, push the head down. Okay, you shoot low. I'm going to come back into it, keep the head down. I don't have very long, obviously. If I can see a knee, that's brilliant. But what I'm going to do is simulate just collapsing that knee. We're going to just touch the knee. In reality, I'll be trying to step through on it. Yeah. So it might be I'm coming to the inside. It might be that I'm coming to the outside. But this is from the sword stuff. Okay. So it's one system. All right. It's as easy as that. Okay. So give that a go. Go there. So with an option like this, you're looking for maximum damage, right? There's loads of other options you can do. You can start striking on the back of the head, you can do all that kind of stuff, but what I'm really looking to do is effectively take them out as quick as possible. Now we should always practice failure options, okay? So the idea of this is, as he's shooting, okay, I'm pushing him down and low. Now bear in mind, this isn't always going to be on, so I always have to have a failure option, okay? In this instance, it's going to be quite difficult because his legs aren't far back enough. I don't really have the time, it's a bit uncomfortable for me. So the option we're going to practice, and there's about 1 million, all from the system, is we're going to come over the belt like this. You've got to force his head up. What play is this? You can't answer. What play is this? Anybody? All the people? 5th play. So don't, you go for it, right? So we're pushing, we're wrestling, he shoots low, you're going to keep low, going to search for it. Oh, I got it that time, that was gentle. But imagine I didn't, yeah? I'm sucked underneath, straight over, I'll drop on his head. Yeah? Always got to think about our failure options. Very rarely does something work nicely first time. Okay? So give that a quick go. Just search for it with the foot, don't stomp. Put your foot down, go round for the belt, force the head up, 5th play. Okay? Give that a go. I've done it. Alright, it's horses for courses, okay? I picked John because he's taller than me, a lot taller than me. So, let's go in, shoot low. Okay, shot low. He's big, so I've got to get my weight down on top of him, right? Remember, this is just option 1. Stomping on any knee is just option 1. Okay, like I say, rarely will it work first time, because that's just fine. When I'm doing the turn, when I'm getting him back turned up right, I don't have to grab something if nothing's there, okay? I can just put a bit of pressure on. The thing that's doing the leveraging is searching for a chin, however I get it. However I can, scratch, scrape, whatever. He's pushing him up, but watch, I pull him in. Because once his head's coming up, his lower back's got to come in anyway, his hip's got to come forward, okay? So we're not forcing stuff, but that's just an easy way to get that leverage, okay? Is to hook in, come low, Is to hook in, in this instance I'm actually going in this way, just to get the head lifted, then I'll turn, then I'll push and step if I have to, okay? Cool beats, right, next one is a drill I do quite a lot, but I think it's a useful one to throw in. Most of us will be familiar with first couple of plays of Exiles, right? So however we shoot up, and this is my target arm, I'm coming up and over, and I'm trying to break us up, yeah? What we're going to do is a little principle-based game. John's going to grab me high-low at random on either side. And what I'm going to do is practice picking up that arm, whatever you want, John. Picking up that arm from high and low. Okay? So I should be going for the high arm. But in this instance, I've already committed my mind to going this side. So I'm going to come underneath, up onto the shoulder, and I'm going to break the elbow. Okay? That's it. It's a principle-based game. Just collect that from low-high. The reason why this is the first play, first proper play, apart from the cover, is because picking this up is so incredibly common. Okay, that's why it's one of the first ones. We're always basically saying, you can do this from everywhere, so it's really important that I'll chuck it in first. And that's it. So, okay, I should be taking the high arm, and I can still take the high arm, but I'm going to take the low arm. I'm going to take the low arm. And that was a bit of a mess, but I've still got the turn. What's this? It's dagger, strong cue. Okay, so make the turn, see what you get. Okay? Mr. Ivan. Alright, the reason why it's useful to practice that is because in a second we're going to come back to it for some other thing I was talking about with someone. We'll swap sides for a second. 7th play of Exiles, right? How we get there is kind of inconsequential in many respects. It's either a strike, it's a grab or whatever, but I've got a long straight arm. Okay? What I'm going to do checking at the shoulder if it helps me out, and I'm going to bob under the arms. I'm going to come down and I'm going to come up. Okay? You can turn around a little bit with driver. So there you go. It's pretty obvious what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to pop his elbow. Okay? The success rate of that, even when you're really good at it, is probably like 50%. Okay? So it's very hard because he's going to move. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of variations of what happens when he does move. Okay? So I want to do this and I want to break his arm. It's going to be quick. Yeah? My arm comes down as the body goes up. However, Mr. Ivan's switched on. So the first method of defence he's going to have is probably what we do instinctively, which is bend the arm. Okay? So we're in as I start to come under. So as I start to come under, he's going to bend the arm. So I'm going to follow it. I'll turn around in a second. So as he starts to bend the arm, the left arm goes round and we're back to the fifth play again. Okay, which is part of the reason why I dropped that fifth play in. Then we turn it around. So what I want to do is strike that button. I want to come in, I want to come underneath the arm. See, he's starting to bend, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay, just abandon it. Fifth play, job done. Okay, makes sense? Go for the actual bob and play. Try and put the play on, because it will teach them to bend their arm a bit quicker anyway, which is good defence. Okay? Have a partner swap. If you need help, stick a hand up, I'll come help you. Snippets. Just little snippets, my snippets. When you do lots of system, you'll have your own snippets, and some of them might be better, and if they are, you need to tell me. Okay, John and I were doing a video a couple of weeks ago, and this is based on the same principle, but he did something to me, and I thought, well, that would make a nice addition to this class. So it's exactly the same principle. We weren't doing the pop under, but it fits really well. So we're here, right? Again, it doesn't matter how we get in. It could be grabbing, it could be punching, whatever. Okay? Is that on? Marky?
Yes, it's on.
So I want to go under, but he's clever, okay? He's either going to bend the arm like he just did, okay, yeah, or he's going to shoot round. Because I've given him a massive opening, and to an upright grappler, I'm basically giving him a free meal ticket. So as I come under, as I start to bob under, he's going to basically come round, okay? So then what play do I need to be thinking about now? I need to be searching for night play. Night play. As soon as someone goes onto your off shoulder, that's the play you go to, okay? It is a phenomenally successful play. It works very, very well. So from this side, yeah, we're in, okay? I want to get the bob under, but he's shooting around. This is incredibly common. Even today, even in modern martial arts, incredibly common, okay? There we go. If my arm is behind him, I use the face. If my arm is in front of him, which is where he should have positioned himself to throw me, bosh, yeah? And we're being nice and training, aren't we? But that is, just grab hold, John. Yeah, in reality, it's, I'm going to smash it. Yeah, be nice, but just have that context in mind. Want to see it again? Cool. So go for the play, because that's the intent. Okay, I'm going to go under, but he's just going to push, he's going to palm me off and step around the back. It's very common. Put your leg behind theirs, explode. Yeah, so I do. So he ends up here, or thereabouts. Round the back, look at my hips bending. Out, bosh. Okay, so that's the ninth play, right? Ninth play? Yeah, that's it. Ninth play. Alright, so the next one was a discussion that I had around, it was with one of you, I think. It might have been you, I don't know. Anyway, around the pressure point play, which is my least favourite play. The interesting thing about that pressure point play, we'll practice it in a second. What we're going to do is a couple of failure options, because with this, most people are like, oh, that's uncomfortable, I don't like it. Some people like me, and I am in the minority, absolutely hate anything being put. That pressure point is awful for me, and he loves that fact. Some people, it just, so, and what? Pressure points don't work. So as much as Fiore shows a nice push into the thumb jab behind the eardrum, yeah, we can't rely on the fact that it's going to work, so we're going to play this out, okay? What we're going to do though is a little principle-based game, just to see if you have a dislike of this as much as I do. Oh yeah, sorry, stay in front of the red line. Okay. So John's going to grab high-low, doesn't matter. My only focus is to take the hand that makes the most sense, normally the lead hand or the one that's high, and I'm going to push behind his ear, okay? Get a feel for how much you dislike this, or if you're immune. He's here, I'm just going to jab it in, and I'm going to basically just extend the posture longer. Do you like that? Whereas you don't care. So some people it doesn't work against, and that's exactly what we're going to play on, okay? It doesn't matter how they grab you, as long as it's one high, one low, this is the high arm, there, you're going to basically push in, push in and just extend. Now, training-wise, we're just giving a bit of pressure. In reality, you'd be really jabbing it home, okay? But it still might not have any effect, okay? So have a play with it, and then we're going to basically deal what happens when this is, they're immune, okay? Literally a minute each, and we'll come back.
Jason!
If you were immune to this, it just didn't bother you at all. So it's mostly women, I find, that just I went over there and those guys are like, okay. Alright, that being said, this isn't going to end the fight. Okay, so even if they find it horrible, it's not going to really put them out of action. So let's work on that premise of one of his jobs. So there's a whole bunch of things, okay? So, well, whatever. Okay, I'm here. I'm going to just, this is only ever going to set stuff up. Now, immediately that's having absolutely no effect, okay? So there's a couple of options. The first option is this arm high. This is why I got you to do this drill before. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to take the arm, yeah? That's the first option. Obviously, that arm could be low, and I might have just accidentally chose that side, so we're going to do another option if that happens. But ideally, it would be the high arm. I'm going to try and push that. Nothing's happening, so I've got that second plate. Just to drop the leg over, drop it back on, and then, you know. Because again, even if that's horrible to them, it's not going to put them out of action. It's just a momentary distraction when you're doing something more complicated. So give that a go. If their arm is low though, don't worry, we're going to cover that in a second, okay? We're going to also speed things up a little bit. That was it. Yeah. So, quick partner swap, a minute each, I'll call you back. So again, that was just something I added to my list of randoms for the class based on a conversation. I can't remember who it was with, but it was with the next time. Anyway, next one, so I had this discussion around something I said at some point in a video about why it's important when you're grappling to pull people down. Okay? And I think it was through the lens of in modern terms, okay? Well, we're going to go through a couple of plays now to help get that point across. Why do we try and pull people down, okay, if it's a prolonged grapple? Obviously, if you just come in and you've got an arm to take, you're going to take it. But if it's a tussle, if you're body to body, why are you going to pull them down? Let's use Ivan. Alright, so we're going to do some things around... thank you. Do some things around the 12th play, okay? If we're upright like this and we're resting and it's just taking too long, there's no limbs to work on, he knows what he's doing. The reason why is in my interest to pull him down because I can't see his knees. Okay? And we all know there's that play, isn't there? Okay? So that's the reason why. If we're prolonged here and just nothing is happening, he's just dead good at this. I'm going to start pulling him down. Okay? Because those knees, I need to be able to see them. Okay? So that's why we pull them down. So we're going to make this into a little principle-based game. Okay, what we're going to do is come into the close and push each other down. Okay, I'm tallest, so I'll go first, and that saves the whole question of which one's going first. I'm going to send the knee in, Ivan's going to cover the top of the knee. Okay, now believe me, this probably only works half the time. Sometimes you're just going to get a knee, right, because you're just not quick enough. Either way, that's the game. So I'm going to send the knee in, I'm going to try and cover it. We're going to do a couple of things off of this basis, okay? And if it's the other knee, okay? It's just going to stick an arm out, okay? So most of you are going to practice this as a play. We're going to build a couple of things off. The most important thing though, is I'm just giving you an objective to help you understand why, if we're here for 80s, we're trying to put them down. This is why we always end up like this, because I need to see his legs and his knees, okay? And we're just giving a bit of flavour to that with that knee, but we're going to work off of that. So give that a go. Generally, because you really want to hurt each other, it's the back knee that does it, okay? It's very hard to get the front knee up. But people do try, it's the back knee, okay? If you're interested in maximum damage, what you should generally try and do when you're sending that knee in is stand up, okay? I'll explain why in a second. But the bit we're interested in, it gives you loads more power for that, okay? But give it a go, all right? Cool. Conversation about putting your heads down and it turned into like knees or the rest of it. Come inside. So, right. The reason why I said if you're interested in maximum damage, stand up, right? There's loads of reasons for this, but the main reason is that you're adding power by putting your hips in. Okay? He's got quite a tight grip on me there, but I've still got the space to just throw myself up. Okay? The other reason, of course, is that I can place my foot, and I'm now on top of it. So I can place my foot, okay, nice and stable back into a wide base. Okay. So I said to you about covering with the forearm. Okay. So that's one way to do it. Absolutely. So there's the leg coming in, and like I said, only half the time this works. So he's going to send that in, and I'm just going to drop an arm down on top. Now we know there's a play from here. Okay. That play works whether you've covered it and drop the arm around, or whether you've been kneed and then you just catch it afterwards. Like I say, about half the time you're going to get a knee. There's a couple of things you can do to help yourself though, okay? So we're resting for ages, we're putting each other down because they want to see each other's legs, okay? His left leg is back now, so that's the one that's probably going to be coming up. So things you can help yourself, right? As he starts to think about lifting the knee, pull the head down. Did that just stop your neck? Yeah. Pull the head down. I want to be here anyway. And if he does get it off, loads of power comes out of it. This is absolute grappling basics 101. Okay? It's all about how many points of balance you have on the floor. That to me is the most effective counter to someone trying to knee you. Okay? So we're here, put it down. Okay? Putting it down. You might get it off, but it's going to have no power in it, which is then going to make any kind of cover grab easier. We won't worry about the cover grab for now, but just give it a try. Okay? What it's teaching you to do is keep that downward pressure until I decide I want to take it somewhere. Okay? So we're in the man, we've got a little bit of break. Down, pull it. I can see his legs, but by giving him that pressure, it just makes it so much harder. And I can feel him when he starts to come up. Okay? So give it a go. And it's all the pressures on the back of the head. So we turn this way. Yeah, just side on. So when I'm here, when I'm pulling it down, I can see through this little gap here under his arm, but I'm pulling here. I'm not doing this, remember. Any kind of variation of the grips we have in the system, but this is where the pressure's going, right at the top of his point of balance. Same to me at the moment. Exactly. It's hard. It's hard. It just makes it that much more difficult. Okay, so give that a go. 30 seconds swap, 30 seconds, come back. Right, hold on. I should be using something really, because you're tertiary. Okay, so right, that's making our life easier, isn't it? Okay, they can still get the knee off. Now there's something about the text of this play that suggests that the cover of the leg and then the takedown, which is the counter, happens after they've already kneed you. Okay, so I think that's Fiore's way of saying, yeah, you're just probably going to get hit with this. Okay, we're obviously making our lives a little easier. So I'm going to practice at this just real quick. Okay, we'll do it from both sides. So I'm putting him down. Okay, I'm giving him loads of pressure on here, and also what you can start to do is yanking people, just little yanks. Okay, as soon as I feel the weight start to come off the foot, I'll give him a little yank. It just takes all the power out of it. If he still gets it off, there's not going to be a lot of power in it. So that's the part where I cover and grab. So go for it, Ivan. Yeah, cover and grab, or get hit and grab, which is what Fiore seems to suggest. Okay, because I don't think realistically you're going to be that quick. I think sometimes maybe if you're lucky you'll cover it, but it's going to be very difficult. So let's think reality and practically. Knee goes off. If you cover it, brilliant. If not, doesn't matter. Give it a cover and then just practice the play. Don't drop anybody to the ground. Practice the play. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, if this goes wrong, okay, we're going to do another play if this goes wrong. Anybody need to see it again? On the side? Okay, on the side. So we're in. We're putting it down. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Got caught it. Now I probably would have got a knee there. I did cover it, but if he'd have sent it, I'd have got a knee. In either case, just get used to that additional pressure, slowing the knee down so you can cover it, come around the back of it. Okay, just give it a quick practice. Okay, and we'll move on. Remember to keep swapping, because we're only going to do this for a minute, alright? Talking about all of the stuff we can bring from dagger into adversary, I had an exchange and we talked about 10 or 12 different examples. But one we spent the most amount of time talking about was actually the 5th master of dagger, and how that has a lot of application as well. So let's do 5th master of dagger. He's the aggressor, okay, so he's unarmed, okay, because we're looking at adversary. We know, most of us will know the plays we can do from here, we know the bits and pieces. One of the things we talked about was the start of this action, okay, but the fact that hopefully I'll get a pop of the elbow. If I don't, I'm just going to come straight forward into an armbar, basically. So I threw this one in there just as a bit of a contextual sort of drip. So we're in, I'm going to basically do what I'm taught to do, okay, which is smash, secure the wrist, smash the back of the elbow, but that's not enough for me. I don't have to worry about he's got a dagger, because he doesn't, hopefully he doesn't, it's an unarmed confrontation. Up we go, and just to add meat to the bones, we're just going to come forward in a normal level 1 armbar. Okay, this really shouldn't take very long. There's a couple of bits like this that I just wanted to throw in. So give that a go, okay? Anybody need to see it again, or are we good? Yeah? Right, swap sides, good shout, Mr. Ivan. So he's coming in, right? This is straight from dagger, but he doesn't have a dagger today. I'm securing the grip, smashing that, okay? And I am smashing that. Obviously we're trying to be nice, but I'm trying to pop his arm. This isn't enough because we have a sorry, we're going to come right down the line, okay? This is from 3rd Master of Dagger, but we do this as an unarmed technique, so we do an unarmed throw in level 1. And that's as simple as that. But it's a nice, quick, aggressive transition Yeah? The rest of it, he's grabbed hold of me. Fuck that. I was sweaty. Fuck that. In. Over. You know what I mean? It's nice and quick. Nice and quick. Okay? So give that a go. I might try not to throw anybody over. I'm giving you little snippets, as I keep saying, right? If there's bits you don't get, that's no problem. Just ask me later. Or, you know, it's all good. It's just, this is all just flavours. No point in just teaching 4 or 5 techniques and making sure they're perfect. Because, you know, we can do that back in our classes, can't we? We're going to jump ahead a little bit. I wanted to do 2 things from the ground. Okay, we're going to have to be super gentle because we do have mats, but we don't have time to get them all out at the moment. So I want to show you, we do have a working curriculum that works on the ground. Just to be really super clear, as an upright grappler in the medieval period, I do not ever want to be on the floor, ever. But sometimes you end up there because you've messed something up, or you've been thrown, or you've slipped over, or whatever. In effect, I'm going to show you 2 plays from the manuscript as a flavour of what we do when we're on the ground. Now, you won't hit this until you're well into level 5, because we don't want you on the ground. Okay? Okay? Right, first one, come on in, big jump. Actually, I've still got my ribs are still bust, so, but fuck it, come on in. Right, I've fallen over. We're going to do this one just a traditional modern martial arts setup. So jump on the hips, jump. Perfect, right. Get out of your head straight away, MMA, which is a sport. Okay? I want to break it. Okay, I don't want to win. So what we need to do is, and we set this up a little bit artificially because we'll mostly be familiar with this. We're going to grab shit, we're going to pull it down. Okay? Now, the play I've got from here, which is also why I made you drill it, watch. Come in. As he puts his arm on the ground, or this one, look, I've got second play. Remember, I'm trying to break that one. Okay, I'm not trying to win. So basically what we're trying to do is either pull them down or pop my hips, which is going to really hurt. Pop my hips, which makes him put his arms down. And whichever one lands, that's the one I go for. That's all I go for. I'm trying to break it. Yeah, but this is second play. So what I'm trying to do is show you that Fiore's upright stuff works really good on the ground. Most of my injuries have come from this. Okay, so that's number 1. I've just sat him across my hips because we're mostly used to that. It doesn't really matter. The principle is, and bear in mind, I don't want to rush you away. 3 stone more than me. I'm small compared to him, but I mean, pulling him, well, I'm just popping in. There's the arm. Thanks very much. And if it fails, I'm still clearing him. Yeah, I'm still clearing him from my body. And then I can make the turn, I can get out. So whichever arm hits the ground, hopefully it's both, and then you've got options. Just do the second play. Rotate. Even though he's so much bigger than me, that's a broken arm. And so on and so forth. Yeah, there's more to this, but I don't want to get too complicated. Okay, cool. So we'll do that one first. Oh man. Okay, get off now. And this was your fault. Right, all good. Just keep it nice and easy. Just sit them across your hips. Okay. Okay, we've only got 4 minutes left, so 25 things from this hour is really about 14 things. That's my fault, sorry about that. Alright, come on John. The last thing I wanted to show you was the same principle. I'll just quickly demo it. Again, it's another example. Come on then, John.
Mine is
Alright, someone bigger than me anyway, because if I use 4 things on this, I'm going to do it. Do you want to do it that way or do it from the middle? Go then. Look, this way. This way there. Okay, cool. Right, this one. Well, now he's raining punches. Now he's raining punches. He's hitting my chest in the wrong really because of the face hit. Okay? You are going to wear a couple of punches. Just fact. Right? What I'm trying to do though, I'm trying to cover, and I'm trying to get him to the point where I can come in like this. Okay? This is just going to be a straight arm bar. Now, I always do this instinctively nice and place it across the neck. Basically, I'm just trying to get to the point where I can leverage him. Very difficult. Ideally, what I want to do is scratch it. Just pushing this way. Just pushing this way. I want to go for the eyes. Remember, forget sport. This is not sport. Okay? So, we put it here to set it up. Punch, punch. Yeah. I'll just cover it. I'm just trying to get to the point where I can fucking get my stuff into his face. Yeah, scratch that. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. And forget all of this rubbish. That's all sport. I want to blind him. I want to take him out. That was uncomfortable. Okay, that was the last thing I wanted to do. I'm just trying to give you examples. We do have a full working curriculum on the ground, but we don't want you down there. Okay, so listen, that's the end of this bit. Loads of examples. Remember, this is my framework. You'll have your own interpretation of all of this stuff. I cannot emphasise that enough. If there's any questions about any of this, come grab me. Okay, we're going to have a little break, some water, some painkillers, and and then next class, okay? Cool beans.